Good evening. Good evening, everybody. This is Mr. A. Welcome to the set. Today is Wednesday, November 11th. I'm going to wait for some people to come in the room because it's Wednesday. It's hump day. People are going to be a little slow on the draw. Woo. Everything is happening like on some real weirdo shit. But you know what? We're here. We're going to have a show tonight. We are going to have a great conversation with a Mr. Jay Hernandez from Jungle Bird in New York City. And I hope everybody enjoys the conversation. Let me see some people getting in this room real quick. Let me make sure all the sound is correct. I know everybody's waiting for January to come. All this nonsense going on. All right, we're seeing a bunch of people here. All right. So, as I said, tonight we have Mr. Jay Martinez. I said Hernandez. Wow, forgive me. Mr. Jay Martinez. Mr. Jay Martinez from Jungle Bird in New York City. Tonight we're going to bring him on and have a conversation about his come up, his trials and tribulations into the culinary world. I thank for everybody for joining us tonight. I hope you enjoy the conversation. Also, next Sunday, November 15th at 7:30 p.m., let's talk about cannabis with Chef Swan and Mark Alfinez. As you know, Chef Swan has a show on YouTube called High End Cooking. The show is on hiatus, but there's content up, and you can go check him out. Chef Swan travels the world, making all sorts of dishes and delicious treats with cannabis. Mr. Mark Alfinez is a retired Army veteran. He went into the cannabis industry from what I call the corporate side, and very knowledgeable. And we're going to meld those two together and have an open conversation and dialogue regarding cannabis. So I'm sure everybody's going to want to tune in for that one. Then Sunday, November 22nd at 7:30 p.m., couples, do you have what it takes to make it? So what we're going to do is sit down with some couples and discuss their struggles and what they do to keep balance and maintain their love, households, careers, and everything in between. So it should make for a very interesting show. I had a little difficulty finding people, but I feel like I've secured them, and we're gonna sit down and have a conversation on Sunday, November 22nd at 7:30. So I hope everybody can make it out for that. So again, tonight we're gonna be speaking to a very interesting young man by the name of Jay Martinez. Let's see. Let's start the show.
He talks about it. And Mr. A, I appreciate you being a fan. So, yo, this is Redman in the building. Right now, you are checking out my boy, Mr. A, at the set. Talking about real life education, community, addiction, and just real people in general. So, Mr. A, let's get this shit going on. Light your blunts, fasten your seat belts, and squeeze on your girl titty. Ow! Mr. A, at the set is starting now.
What up? What up? Salute to Redman. Good evening, everybody. I'm your host, Mr. A. Welcome to the set. As you know, we are going to have a great conversation with a very interesting young man about his journey into the culinary world. I'm glad everybody could make it with us tonight. I hope you guys all enjoy this conversation. My next guest is a young gentleman who worked his way up into the culinary world. And I was I'm not going to say surprised, but it struck a chord with me because I had a friend who, as a matter of fact, I had two friends that were in that field of work. One of them did pass away. The other one is still alive, but he shifted his career. But when Mr. Martinez told me a little bit about himself, and his story, it just sat with me and it made me consider the possibilities that could have been for this gentleman. And I found his story interesting enough that I felt like it was important to have him on the show tonight. So I hope that everybody can enjoy this conversation. And yeah, let's bring on our guest, chef at Jungle Bird, Mr. Jay Martinez. Welcome to the set. How you doing?
Mr. A, what's going on?
Salute, salute. What's going on, brother? How are you?
I'm all right. I'm doing great, man.
Wonderful, wonderful. So, let's see. We're going to start at the beginning. So, as I understand, you reside in Staten Island, correct?
I don't, not anymore. I grew
Okay.
up in Staten Island. I was born in the Bronx. Mama took us to Staten Island when I was still a baby. New Brighton, where I'm from, where I was raised. And yeah, now my life's taken me in so many different directions, but now I reside in Brooklyn.
BK. What part of Brooklyn?
I live in Prospect Park. I made it to the nice side.
Oh,
Yeah,
okay.
yeah,
Prospect Park.
yeah.
Are you close like to the Flatbush side or the Park Slope side?
Park Slope side.
Oh, wow. We really moving up in the world.
Oh yeah, 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 yeah. You don't work hard for no reason. Okay?
Yeah, for sure, for sure. Salute. Okay. So, let's start at the beginning.
Yes, sir.
So you're born in the Bronx. Your mom moves you to Staten Island.
Yep.
What are the circumstances that are surrounding the move? Is it she? Were you guys living in the South Bronx? Were you living? Was it a
So
sus?
when she moved us out to Staten Island, I was still young.
Mm-hmm,
From the stories I'm told,
mm-hmm,
we were in a shelter and we didn't have much. And when
right.
she finally got a crib, it was out in Staten Island. So it was like, do we stay in the Bronx and try to make it in the Bronx in the shelter? Because I mean, we were in the shelter, but we were day by day. You know what I mean? Or do we take the chance? We go to Staten Island and we make our way out there. And my mom was brave enough to say, you know what, I'm gonna take that chance. I'm gonna be me because it was just me, my older brother, and her. So she was a single mom. So she was just like, you know what, we're gonna take the chance. We're gonna go out to Staten Island.
At the time that you guys moved, it sounds like that you were somewhat aware of what was happening at that time, or have some sort of memory of the move and the changes. How did it affect you? I'm sure you were a youngster, but as you started to get, come up and have, an understanding of what was going on, like did it have a real impact on you?
Well, my mom always kept me close to the tuck. I was her middle child. I was also her premature baby. So
Oh,
she kept me very shielded. She kept me very close to the tuck. She didn't really let me loose like that. So I was very socially awkward. I
mm-hmm,
didn't really have friends until I was like damn near fifth grade, sixth grade. I was just a quiet kid, wasn't the popular kid. So um, if you could say it affected me, but not really because it was just the way I thought everybody came up like that.
right. Naturally, when you're sheltered, you kind of think that this is regular for everybody.
Yeah, yeah. I was kind of like, everybody, I was born I was born into the shelter system. So I was like, oh, everybody comes up in the shelter, gets their own crib. Like this is the way it is.
Right,
So it really wasn't like poverty wasn't a shocker for me, you know?
right, right. So when do you start to gain an understanding of yourself and your independence? Because as you said, your mom kept you tucked, and I know what that's like when single moms, they either out there or they're like, you're under my foot type move.
Yeah.
So at what point in your life, like as a teenager, when do you start to garner your own self of your own understanding of yourself, one, and your sort of your independence?
So that actually came when I got older. So my mom ended up meeting what ended up being my stepfather,
Hmm.
who she had another child with, my little brother. And after he came, my mom was it was kind of like, all right, I'm done with this toy now. And it's sad to say that, but I think of it, that's the way I think of it. And I till this day I hold a lot of resentment towards my mom because of that. But it was like after my little brother came around, it was like, she was focusing on making my stepfather happy, on raising her new child with him, and being that family.
Hmm.
And I was kind of casted away and slowly but surely became the black sheep of the family.
Right.
And there were a lot of nights where it was just me in my room by myself. So when I was younger, when I was in my teens, I had problems sleeping. And it just like it hurt me, but it also helped me learn myself. Like I stayed up all night, literally just in my thoughts all day, learning who I was as a man, learning. I didn't know what I exactly wanted to do, but I know who I was. I knew who I was. I knew exactly what I stood for at
Right.
that young age. And as I became older and I became more and more the black sheep of the family, it was like I just made my own way. I found my own path. I created my own path. I kind of raised myself because it was like everybody everybody was doing them, and then there was me. You know what I mean? So
So let
yeah.
me. I'm sorry to interrupt you, but let me ask you something. So in this new dynamic of your mom, now meeting your stepfather and having another child, there was no, like, you guys didn't solidify as a family. Like your stepdad didn't try to take to you and say, hey, Jay, let me take you fishing, or let's go to a game, or you guys didn't like have that kind of relationship.
So again, we grew up like we were always we weren't even, I can't even say middle class. We were high low class, I could say, at our highest point. You know what I
Hmm.
mean? So there was no games. There was no, we didn't go to baseball games. There was no, let's go fishing. We didn't have the money for that.
Right.
A lot of times, I think at first my stepdad wanted to,
Hmm.
but I had so much resentment with my mom ignoring me and me slowly becoming the black sheep that I think even I didn't want to be a part of it, right? So
Right.
it was just like as time went on and I kept resenting that, he started to turn away from me. You know what I mean? So it was just both of us separating. Like it was never, I didn't want to be what he wanted me to be,
Right.
right? And he didn't want me to be what I was becoming,
Ah.
right?
So
So it was just, all right, that's what you're gonna do. Fine. I'm gonna focus on my son. I'm gonna focus on raising my child. My older brother's doing his own thing any goddamn way. So it was just, I'm just gonna focus on raising my child, and that's what it's gonna be.
what is, you how old are you now? About 26,
I'm
27?
27.
Okay. So at 27, as a young man, do you find your relationships to be more or less the same with people outside of yourself? Like, do you find yourself pushing people away? Do you have a relationship with your brother? Like, what is your situation now?
That's actually a funny thing you asked that. So, and hopefully I get to tell the rest of the story. But
Hmm.
yeah, I have no relationship with my family at all. Like I don't talk to my
Wow.
brothers. I don't talk to my mother. I don't talk to my father. I don't talk to any of them. And because of all that I've been through with them, you're right. It kind of does make me push people away. It makes me like, you really have to be the same mindset as me. You need to be like, is a different. Like I think differently. I move differently. I'm not the same 27-year-old that's out here running around because of what I've been through. You know what I
Right.
mean? The journey that I've been through. I've been homeless on three separate occasions. Like I
Right.
lost it all three separate times and got it back three separate times. So it's like you have to be in that mindset. If not, I don't even want to deal with you. It's like I don't have the sympathy card no more. I don't have the pity card for nobody because it's like when people say, "Oh, you don't know what I've been through," you're right, bro. I don't know what you've been through. I wasn't there. Like, what do you want me to do? You want me to touch your forehead and read your mind and know everything you've been through? It's impossible. So when you say bullshit like that, it's just like, bro, what are you talking about? Like, what do you mean? You want me to feel sympathy for you because I didn't go through what you've been through? All right, bro. So you step in my shoes and you be the outcast of your entire family. You go through being homeless three separate times, not just being homeless, losing everything except the shirt on your back three separate times and coming back. right? You go through all of that, and then you tell me that I don't need to push you away, or that I need to be around that, right? So it's
Right.
like my relationships with people is just you need to be on that mindset. You need to be on a different caliber. Like I just don't deal with regular,
So
you know?
you have when it comes to forming these relationships outside of yourself,
Yeah,
there's two things that I see: low patience and low tolerance, and
absolutely.
it makes perfect sense,
Yeah,
right? But before we move on to the next topic, I want to say this to you, from one brother to another. One day you're gonna have a child, and you remember everything that was before, and you set the new path and the new tone with that
absolutely.
child, right?
Absolutely. But that's the funny thing. Like I was actually a dad for like 8 months. So I know that connection. I know what it was like to be that dad. And it was just like it makes me resent them even more because it's like I would hold my child and it was like I would run through walls for you. I could never let you go anywhere. Like I could never ever think about you being out in the streets and I haven't talked to you for years. Like I could never. I don't care what we've done or what we go through. I don't care what journey you take or what path you decide to go on. You're
You're my
still
child.
mine. Like you're still
Yeah.
my blood. You know what I mean? I can't just. So it makes me resent things even more.
Mm. Well, you know what? You're gonna move in a different direction because time is gonna teach you that. Not saying that what you feel or what you've been through is not justifying the way you handle shit, but I feel like as you grow more into your manhood, you're gonna start to take a different look and a different approach to things. I can just tell by your energy. And when that day comes, you're gonna find a lot of peace with yourself. You're definitely gonna find a lot of peace with yourself. Not to say that you probably don't feel that right now, but trust me, it's gonna feel even better.
I
So,
mean, I have my own semblance of peace. Like
right,
I have my own peace because I choose just not to think about it. You know what I
right,
mean? I choose to distract myself with being great. You know what I mean?
there you go.
I have things I want to accomplish in life and harping back on the past and sitting there thinking about, oh, but I've been through this, I've been through that. Like I don't choose to think about it like that. I choose to think
Right,
about it like I've been through this, so I became this. You know
yes,
what I mean?
sir,
Like you can't be who you are today unless you went through every single thing you went through in the past, right? You would not be the same man. Like
for sure,
you could make one slight change, and I would be a totally different person, right?
very
So
much.
it's about taking your past and not sitting and harping on it so much. It's about sitting and learning from it and
Yes, sir.
moving on.
Finding the lesson in the bad times is the most. That's the best thing you could do for yourself.
In the good times too. I think there's a
Yeah,
lesson in every single thing that we do in life,
yes, sir.
and especially when you know what you want to do and you have your eyes set on what you want to do, the universe and the world will tell you exactly what you need to do. Right? Everything becomes a lesson after that. Everything you do becomes a lesson to what you're trying to do. Right?
For real.
And it's just that way of thinking that everything that I do is a lesson, everything that I go through is a lesson, and everything that I do should change me in some type of way.
So now you're in this position. You're growing into your own sort of self, and you're finding your voice. At what point do you decide? You know what? I need to take myself out of this equation and move on to something else because this isn't suitable for me. My home life isn't suitable for me, and I don't find peace here anymore. So, at what point do you decide? You know what? I need to do something different.
I don't really think any of us have that like eureka. This is that point.
No, right.
I think it was just like you said, it was like I was at my maximum capacity with the shit. Like I was really to a point where if I don't leave here, I'm gonna kill myself. I was suicidal at a point, right? And it was just I felt alone. It was I didn't like my home was not my home. I didn't feel like this was my family. I felt literally like an outcast in my own home. I would walk in every day to dirty looks. I would there were it was like points in time where I really every time I see my stepfather, it was a fight. Like it wasn't even like an argument. It was a fight. Like it wasn't. It was. I'm
Yeah,
not talking about the fight like these. No, it was. Oh. blow. We went to blows every time we seen each other.
Wow.
So it was just like, I don't want to go through this anymore.
Right.
And then being young, being dumb, I wanted to run the streets. I felt uh, um, I wanted I wanted that love. I wanted to feel that family aspect. So uh, there was a night. I remember the night like it was yesterday. I wrote a letter. I was like, pretty much, listen, I can't stay here no more. If I do stay here, I'm gonna do something bad to either myself or somebody else. I just can't take it. I'm sorry. I apologize profusely in the letter, and I
Mm.
left the letter on my night table, and I ran away that night. I didn't leave with anything, and I ran straight to a family that, till this day, I love dearly because they took me in like I was their own.
Wow.
I knew he was one of my only friends in elementary school. Like I didn't have too many friends, but he was one of my friends. He was one of my boys.
Mm.
His name was Matthew. Shout out to Matthew. That's still to this day my brother.
Salute.
Um, so I ran away from home. I'm like, I don't know what to do. I'm hungry. I'm not thinking shit through because I'm just like, I gotta get out, right? I'm not
Reflexive.
thinking
Yeah.
like it's cold out here. I got on fucking shorts and a fucking hoodie. I'm not dressed for this, right? So I'm like, all right, I gotta get somewhere. I go down the block. I see that their lights were still on, and I heard some noise, and it sounded like a family, right? It was the laughing, it was the joking, it was that, right? And I remember standing out there for like 5 minutes debating with myself, like, do I knock on this door? Because I still had the pride, like I still have pride, right?
Yeah.
So I manned up. I was like, I'm cold, like, because I was still scared of her saying no, right? What if his mom comes out like, who the fuck? No, get the fuck out, get the fuck away from my door. Like, go find somewhere to go. Nutcase, like, what the fuck you talking about?
Yeah.
So knocked on the door. Matthew opened the door. He was like, yo, bro, what's going on? I was like, bro, I ran away from home. I don't have anywhere to go. He was like, bro, stay right there. He went to the back for literally 2 minutes. He was like, yo, bro, come inside. Um, his mom looked at me and like she seen the pain in my face, right? So she's just like, boy, come here. Like she just gave me the biggest hug. And like I just till this day I remember breaking down in her arms, right? And that shit, like everything was let go in that moment. It was like all the pain, like,
Take your time,
and
bro. Take your time.
and ever since that day, she treated me like I was one of her own. Like she treated me like the son that I wanted to be.
Yeah.
And I remember her telling me, she was like, listen, because she had a lot of boys too, right? She had like 5 boys. She was like, listen, I can't let you stay here, right? Because I have all these boys here. But one thing you will always have here is a hot meal, a place to at least get some type of sleep, and a nice hot shower. You don't never have to worry about
That's the shit that stays with you. When you come from what you're coming from and describing, when somebody shows you unconditional love, that shit
it. But
stays with you.
it wasn't just her, right? It was like
Right.
it was the family. Like they welcomed me in. Every single one of her boys, like those boys are my brothers till this day. Like blood couldn't make us any closer, right?
For real.
That was the shit that was just like, that's what I wanted. That's all I wanted. But anyway, she was just like, listen, I can't let you stay here, but I know a place like it was kind of illegal, right? She was like, and I'm sorry if I get anyone in trouble, but I
Nah,
gotta
you
tell the
won't.
truth, right?
Yes,
So
sir.
she was like, listen, one of my nephews just got arrested, but his place is empty, right? And I have the keys. Go stay there. I was still like, because I was at the time I was probably like 16, 17, right? So I'm like, I don't know what I'm doing, ma. Like I literally told her, ma, I'm like, I don't know what I'm doing, ma. Like, what do I do? She said, Matthew. mad loud. Like Matthew came, coming, go with him, stay with him. And since then, Matthew stayed. Like he took me to the crib. He stayed with me like for like a month. And that was our place at 16. We had our own. You know what I mean? Until the landlord found out that dude got locked up and we were staying there. But that was our place. It was our spot.
Right.
And at the time I was just like, all right, well, if I have this place, I can't, I'm not gonna let another lady take care of me, right? I gotta take care of me. So
Right.
what I did was I lied about my age on a job application at the JCC at the public school that I went to, PS 31.
Okay.
And the principal loved me, so she was like, you know what, I got you. Um, and I waited like a month towards the end of the summer, and I got the call. She was like, you know what, come to work. You're gonna start working. Listen, you're gonna tell the rector of the camp that you're 18 years old, and he's not gonna ask you no questions, and you're gonna work. And after working there for a while, I got really cool with the director, and he was like my guy, and I got Matthew a job. And then
Nice.
ever since, it was just like me and Matthew. You know, we stuck it out. We rode together. We did what we had to do, and I would stay either at the spot that me and Matthew got, or I would stay at Matthew's mom's house right there on Jersey Street, and that's how I lived um, until I was about 17, and then
Wow. People.
I got a call from my aunt, my godmother. She was like, "You, I heard you was homeless. That's not acceptable. Like, come out here to Brooklyn, come live with me." Um, and I stayed there. I met somebody who, uh, to this day, drove me to the man I am today. I'm not gonna say who because I know that's gonna cause problems. But it
Okay.
was, and then it was off to the races from there.
People, if you're just joining us, I'm your host, Mr. A. Welcome to the set. Tonight we're having an in-depth conversation with Chef Jay, Mr. Micon Martinez. Evidently, Mr. Martinez also has a YouTube channel or some sort of show that we'll get into later on.
I have a platform. It's not as popular as the set, but I'm working.
We're working on getting this set popular, but I appreciate that compliment, brother. So we're having an in-depth conversation about his journey that led him to the culinary world. And right now, he was just describing what it was like growing up, being the black sheep of the family, dealing with a bout of homelessness, but finding friends and even a sort of family for himself. And he's describing this journey, and it's striking a chord with me because I know Mr. Martinez is not the only one that has experienced this or has gone through this, or even right now, there's probably a slew of young adults, teenagers, or even children that are dealing with these sort of
Absolutely.
circumstances, and it's sad. But
And can I just
please, please,
um if there is anybody watching this, or if you ever watch this, and you are going through any resemblance of what I went through, my advice to you is go through your Rolodex. Like there's somebody in that Rolodex that'll help you out, that'll give you an opportunity. I don't care what anybody tells you, no matter who they are, how rich they are, or they become. Nobody made it by themselves.
mm-hmm.
Don't be afraid to put your pride to the side and ask for help. Like don't think that you're a bitch for it. Don't think you're a pussy for it. It's none of that. You know what I mean? It's you need help, go get it. There's somebody there. There's somebody you've met, you've came across that will gladly help you with no no sweat off their back. And that would be my advice to anybody going through what I went through, and I don't wish that on anybody.
Well, let me tell you this, brother. Right now, there's a bunch of people in the room, especially the ladies, the women, that are sending not only love and good energy, but they're giving you praise, and sending blessings too. So that's a beautiful thing. So now you get Matthew and his mom. They're in your corner. You get this summer at JCC. You hook Matthew up because that's what we do, right? When
Absolutely.
when the brother looks
Um,
out, we're gonna look out.
I think it's not only for Matthew, it's for anybody. I've always been the person to, if I open the door myself, I'm gonna leave it open for somebody else, or I'm gonna hold it open for somebody.
For
Right? A
sure.
lot of times, a lot of us be like they put their man on, but all they did was tell their man that their job was hiring. Their man had to do the interview. Their man had to still dress nice, had to do everything. Um, I'm a firm believer. If I put my man on, you literally walking in that building and you have a job right there. Like I believe in creating the opportunity for my people, not just opening the door and hoping they make it through. Right.
Damn.
So
Respect.
yeah, absolutely.
So you're in this moment. You're working. At that point, after working or during your time at the JCC and going forward, do things start to level out? Do you find some sort of even keelness in your life? And, what starts to
Um,
change? And
I mean, you could say that. I found a cycle, and I
okay,
think when you're going through dark times, I think that's the best thing for you to do
the
is
routine.
just find a cycle. Like distract yourself with work, distract yourself with literally being great.
Right.
Like get up every day, don't mope around like, oh, I'm homeless, I don't have anything to eat, poor me. Fuck that. Go out, be great. Like you have 24 hours, just like Jay-Z has 24 hours, just like uh everybody who's rich and everybody who ever made it, they say they have the same 24 hours that you do. So it's like go out and put in the work, distract yourself with it. And I think that's what happened for me. I went to work. After I went to work, I would chill with Matt for a little bit. After I chill with Matt for a little bit, I'll figure out if I'm staying on Jersey Street, if I'm going out to if I'm going out to the crib, I'll figure that out. And then from then on, after I went to Brooklyn, it was like, all right, where am I staying at? Am I going to Brooklyn tonight? Am I staying out here? And it was just always distracting myself. It was never woe is me bullshit. Like I never believed in that crap. Like that shit is the most annoying thing to me.
I think
And I
that
think that's what pushed me to exactly where I am today. And it's not stopping.
since you really became aware of your circumstances very early on, and you felt you used that energy to sort of twist it around for yourself,
Yeah.
because not everybody's lucky enough to recognize what they're going through and how they can turn situations around for themselves.
Right.
Not everybody's built like that. And for
But
some
it's
people, it comes
also
later, you know?
yeah, and it's also not everybody is unlucky enough to sit up in their room all night and be stuck in their head and their thoughts all day. You know what I mean? Because
Yeah.
that's where it came from. It came from me literally being alone with nothing but some books that weren't even like I didn't have the bullshit books that everybody posted, 48 Laws of Power, Strategies of War. I didn't have those books. I had Twilight. I had I had The Pillars of the Earth which was like a modern day fucking Romeo and Juliet
Yeah.
story. So I had to find lessons in these books, like, and it was literally me reading those books every single Twilight and just staying up all night stuck in my head. And then
Mm,
when I found music, it was like that's what just completely changed. It was like I found the thing that I was missing, the thing that made me feel okay to keep it going,
right.
right? So it's just, yeah, things evened out for me, but it was just I had so many things to do that I wasn't moping around. I didn't have time for it.
I hear you. And that's the best thing. You keep
Yeah,
yourself
but that came
occupied.
from me uh from the sleepless nights and from all of that, right? So it comes from the bad times. It comes from me learning myself through these bad times and knowing what I'm gonna deal with and what I'm not gonna put up with after I leave this situation.
Mm. So now, at what, you're about 17, 18 at this time, I assume?
Hmm.
Okay. At what point do you make it to becoming, I believe you said a dishwasher,
Yeah.
right? How old were you when you took the job as a dishwasher?
So I lost my job at the JCC. Um, situation. occurred.
Shit happens.
Shit happens, yeah. So I lost my job at JCC. I moved to Brooklyn full time. I left Staten Island, and Matthew's uncle just so happened to work at or be the head of Higgins Hall at Pratt University, right
Okay.
here in Brooklyn.
Okay.
And he said they were hiring. Matt ain't want to be no dishwasher, but I was like, shit, nigga, I'll be a dishwasher. Like I ain't got, you know what I mean? I'll do it.
I want bread.
And at this time, I didn't know what the fuck. I was in Brooklyn. I didn't know what I was. I never like had the dreams of like being a rapper. I just didn't know what I wanted to do. Honestly, at the time, I thought I was gonna be a comedian. Like that's what I wanted. Like I love making people laugh, right?
Hey,
So
great
it was
comedians
just
start
like
from great pain, brother. So I could see that.
exact, and I had the pain, right? So it was just like I could be a great fucking comedian. So. And I mean, all them niggas are depressed. I'm a walking around depressed machine. Like depression, I'll turn it on like that. So, so I didn't really know what I wanted to do. I just knew, again, I wanted to be great. Like I wanted to leave my mark. I wanted, when people were looking at me in that casket, I wanted them to remember me for something. You know what I mean? So I got a job. Matthew got me the hookup. He was like, yo, you want to do a dishwasher? It's not paying much, but you work at Pratt University. I'm like, fuck yeah, you better give me that job. So Matt, uncle got me the job, and I started working with my first of a long line of great mentors that built the path. Well, two great mentors that built the path to me being the man that I am today.
People, if you're just joining us, this is your host, Mr. A. We're at the set talking to Chef Jay Martinez. His story is amazing, and this is the reason why I wanted to bring him on, because it's so relatable, and these are familiar circumstances that many people that grow up in our areas and in our cities endure. What really, above all else, we're about to get into the meat of his journey, pause, but what really attracted me to his story was the fact that he is not classically trained. And if you don't understand what that means, we're going to get into that, but I just want to put that out there. He's not classically trained, and I admire that above everything else. So you get the job, you're working in Pratt. Yes. What breaks the ice with your first or both your mentor? Like, what breaks the ice for you to start talking to them and becoming familiar with them, if you would?
So one thing about me was I always liked chilling around the older folks. Like I never liked chilling with people my age because they didn't think like me. I wanted to become wise. And when I got the job as a dishwasher, my first dude that I worked next to was my boy Al Jet. He's a rapper. Where'd you go?
I'm here.
Oh.
I'm letting you live.
Oh shit. Cool.
No, you good.
Yeah. So I met my boy Al, and he put me on to some of the greatest stuff that I know today. Like he put me on to Jay-Z, he put me on to some Ray Pawn, he put me on to Rakim, he put me on to all the great hip hop and just dope music, R&B. Like he put me on to that. And because we worked every day, 8 hours a day together, and we would have just these dope conversations, just amazing conversations. So he just put me on to like, listen, like you got to understand, like this world works differently, right? He put me on to like how the universe works and like how cycles work and just dope shit, right? So then after that, I met my boy Jonathan. He was a chef at Pratt. And the thing I liked about Jonathan was he was naturally himself. Like he was a fly chef. Like he wasn't like the thing that turned me off to cooking was always like they look boring to me. Like you got the white coats, the big sloppy looking doofus shoes. Like that didn't look cool to me. Like it just, and my thing was I always wanted to be myself no matter where I went. Like I never had a white people voice. I don't have that. Like I'm me. Like this is what I walk through the door at. Like this is me. Right. So Jonathan walked through the door like he had his socks all the way up to his fucking knees, and they were like fly socks. They weren't like white socks. They were like socks with like prints on them and like paintings on them. Like he had Van Gogh socks. Like he came in with like colorful ass, like they were Crocs, but they were different colors. Like everything was wild. He was tatted up. His hair was like a blonde mohawk. Like he was just naturally him. His
Right.
swag was different. Like he would wear leather, Michael Jackson coats. Everybody was, he was a little flamboyant, you could say that, but it was just like he had his own style.
His
And
own
one
swag,
thing he
yeah.
instilled in me was like, listen, you don't never have to be anybody but yourself in the kitchen. That's the one thing about the kitchen. As long as you got the skill to back up everything that you say, that's all you need to do. You could
Yeah.
come through the door looking however you want. But as soon as all you got to tell them is put me behind your line and watch what I could do. And as soon as they put you behind that line and you show them what you could do, you could come in dressed, you could come in pierced up, like, and that's what I loved about cooking. And it wasn't the fine dining. I don't like paying $500 for a cube of watermelon with a little drizzle on it. Like that's whack to me. Like that's corny. Like
Right.
I like the bar food. If you go into a lot of these kitchens in Brooklyn, a lot of these kitchens, you're gonna either run into one, a kitchen full of Mexicans, like,
Right.
and
Yep.
not to say anything, but
Right.
those dudes give it up.
Right.
Or two, you're gonna run into a kitchen with a lot of dope young chefs. There's a lot of dope young chefs out here that we don't know about, right?
Right.
And it's because we think chefs are this pristine, stay white all day. Like, nah, dude, like
Nah.
we fly too. Like we have swag too, dog. Like, and that's what I love about the kitchen, right? I could let my style show off in the food. Like you could see my personality in my food. I'm not gonna give you no little dainty plate because I'm not no little dainty dude, right? I'm gonna give you a plate that's gonna fill up your stomach and it's gonna have deep flavors because I'm a dude that's gonna fill up your stomach and have deep flavors, right? So that's where it
All
comes
right.
from. And he kind of taught me that. It was just you can always be you. You don't never have to put on a suit for nobody. Like it makes no sense. Be yourself at all times, and you can still be great.
See, this is the other part of it that I absolutely love about my platform, and I keep telling people this show isn't about me. I'm a vehicle. I'm a conduit. I'm a conductor. I want to bring real people on the show that can touch something in everybody that watches, and most of all, be real. And as you can see, Mr. Martinez is fucking giving it up tonight. So I hope everybody's enjoying this conversation. So now, you meet your two mentors, you in there. At what point do you decide, hey, you know what? I want to learn this. I want to learn how to cook. Or was it one of your mentors saying, hey, come here, I want to teach you something? How did that all come to be?
So I had an itch for it, but I still didn't. I didn't know what the fuck I was doing. Like I was still scared to use a knife. Like I had shaky hands at the time. Like I wasn't trying to do anything. What happened was I rekindled with my older brother.
Okay.
My older brother just so happened to be a chef, and he needed a job. So they just so happened to be hiring at Pratt University for a chef position. So my brother got in there. He didn't like Jonathan off rip. He just thought he was gay. He was flamboyant. Like he was just like,
What does that got to do with anything? So what? He can cook.
Right, exactly. So he just didn't like him. But my brother was like, yo, bro, like, why are you? He put that attitude in me because Jonathan was always like, bro, I'll teach you to cook whenever you're ready. I'm not going to sit here and force you. But my brother was like, nigga, why are you sitting there washing fucking dishes? You know how much money you can make as a chef, dude? Like, stop playing with these dishes. Like, come jump on the line. So one night, one chef called out and my brother needed help. And it was like, I'm not going to leave my brother out to dry. Like, this is my older brother. So he was like, yo, just jump on the line. I'll teach you everything you need to know on the fly. And I'm just like, nigga, we flying? What the fuck you mean on the fly? What the fuck is on the fly, bro? Like, there's flies in here, bro. I'm a porter. You don't got to do that. Like, He's like, no, nigga, on the fly means I'm gonna teach you everything like off rip. Like there's no training. There's as soon as a customer comes, we training right there, like on the fly. So I jumped behind the line, and it was a wok station. I don't know if anybody knows what a wok is, but a wok
Oh,
is basically the big
yeah.
shit that the Asian people be busting down at.
Wait, time out.
And
Hold on, Jay. I'm sorry to interrupt you. You mean to tell me your first experience on the line, he threw you on the wok?
yeah, wok station.
Holy shit.
Absolutely.
People, if you don't know how to cook with a wok, if you've never seen anybody cook with a wok,
yeah, I'm gonna tell you. Yeah,
go ahead,
'cause I
shoot,
didn't know
brother.
what the fuck I was doing. So my brother was basically like, "All right, bro, I know you don't know how to use a knife. I don't got time to be sitting here teaching you knife work, right? So what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna prep everything for you, and all you gotta do is basically he just taught me the motion. Like whatever they want, you toss it in, you get it hot, you're gonna just go, 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 right? So he didn't tell me anything else, right? That's all basically he told me, and everything was off when he told me this. So I'm like, all right, shit sound easy, nigga. Like y'all make it seem like this shit is World War II or something. Like, so he turns on everything. He's like, all right, bro, I'm gonna be in the back prepping. I'm a pretty quick pickup, so all he had to do was teach me a technique, and I'm off to the races, right? And I have everybody else kind of just sitting there looking at me, waiting for me to blow the fuck up, because I was never, like you said, like I'm very short-tempered with bullshit, and these college students are just full of bullshit, right? So they want this, you got to pick this out. Like he didn't teach me any of that, right? Like he didn't teach me what a fucking shiitake and a cream. He didn't teach me the difference between a shiitake and a cremini mushroom is. Like I didn't fucking know that at the time. Like what the fuck are these things? Like, and these college students are very picky, right?
Hold on, Jay. I gotta interrupt you again.
Yeah.
So you're telling me in Pratt,
Yes.
they're rolling up sort of like you would. You've been to a resort before, right? You know when you go to a resort.
Not really, but
All right. So when you go to a resort, it's set up like buffet style, right? But you could go to different stations.
yeah.
Like
So it's
this-
basically set up like that at Pratt. Yeah.
So basically, your first experience is not only on the wok, but you're running a station.
Yeah. Yeah.
And they're picking this. All right, brother.
Yeah.
Go ahead. Talk about it.
So he turns on the fire, and he's like, all right, bro, so I'm going to teach you how to make one, and then you off to the races. So he teaches me how to make one basic one, toss a little bit of oil, toss the noodles in, toss the sauce in, toss whatever toppings in, toss it. And he's out the door. He's going to prep some shit, right? So I'm like, all right, bro, this shit easy to me, right? So, of course, I'm like, all right, first off, this shit a little too low for me. Like, I'm going to need to turn this up. I'm being a little cocky, like, I got this, you know? So, turn it all the way up. The fire is whooshing, right? So, I toss the oil in. As soon as I toss the first toppings in and I go to toss, a fireball just bursts right in my face. Just everything, right? So, he's like, yo, yeah, all right? Bro, I have no eyebrows. Like, it was a huge fireball, right? Everybody's sitting there laughing at me. Like, he's like, yo, go to the back. But I'm just like,
Nah, I got this.
Like now you done pissed me off. Like, teach me how to do it again. He says to me, teach me how to do it again. John comes out. John was like, yo, bro, you teaching him all wrong. So John stood there all night, helped me with the station. But he's still allowing me to run it. He's literally just standing there, just like, no, you're doing it wrong. Turn it down a little bit. You know, get your technique. It's about circular motion. It's not about looking flashy. Stop trying to look flashy. Take your time. Learn the technique first. And then pay attention to being flashy. Because John was very flashy. So I wanted to be that off the rip, right? I came up, I had my socks up to here. Like I was fly my first day, but I ain't have no technique on it, right? So he's basically like, yo, just take your time. Like, don't worry about all these lines. Like, if it gets too crowded, I'll jump in, help you, but take your time, right? Mm-hmm. So I'm taking my time, I'm busting my ass, bro. Mr. A, like I was sweating. I had blisters like up to here. Like I had 3-inch blisters on my fingers. That wok station is no joke. If you ever work a wok station, God bless you. I love you for it. Like, because those things are not a game. It is hot. It is sweaty. And if you still work at Pratt and you are at that wok station, I love you even more.
Hold on. So you was fly with the socks and learning your technique and still had no eyebrows.
No eyebrows, dude. No.
How long did it take for them to come back?
Oh, like 2 weeks. I'm Spanish. You know that hair come back. Like I
What?
had a little, I had, you know what I mean?
Shit's is thick,
Yeah,
homie.
yeah. Like my things came back. Like it came back pretty nicely. Like so,
So
yeah.
okay,
But
we
after that, it was just like, all right, bro. Like you're gonna start helping out. Like the manager seen that after I got the fireball to my face, I didn't quit, and they
mhm,
admired that. So they were just like, all right. So from now on, every Wednesday, you're gonna be at the walk station. You're gonna help out, and that's where I kind of honed it. And then slowly but surely, I got away from the dishes. I started chopping shit. I started doing basic prep, right? So after that, it was just like John had left to Sweet Chick. He went to move on. He went to move on to Sweet Chick. If anybody been to Sweet Chick, it's on Lello, 178 Lello, chicken and waffles, best chicken and waffles in New York. Everybody thinks the spot over there is Cats. The spot over there is literally around the
around the
corner.
corner. Yeah,
Everybody knows that. Like
yeah,
tourists go to Cats. The real people go to Sweet Chick. Like you know what Sweet Chick is about if you know fitness. So
yeah.
John had got a spot at Sweet Chick, and John was also like me, where he knew I wanted to cook, and I was back being a dishwasher at Pratt. So it
Mhm.
was just like he created the opportunity for me.
Okay.
He was like, "Listen, you wanna be a chef? You sure you want to be a chef?" Like, cause he will always come hang out with me. At the time, I was getting my money, so I got a little room at Brooklyn. I moved out of my aunt's place. Like, I got my little place in Brooklyn, right? So, um, I get my little place in Brooklyn, and John will always come over. So he was like, "Listen, I will get you a position, but you have to promise me that you're gonna bust your ass every single day.
Mm,
I am not playing with you because if I do this, I'm putting my name on the line.
that's a
Like
fact
it's not just your name. Like if you fuck up, yeah, you lose your job. But now it looks bad on me too."
for sure.
So he got me the position. At the time I was 18, 19. I'm like, all right, bro, what are you talking about? Like you think but at the time I'm still young. I don't know the work hard. Like I'm just thinking like come in, do whatever the fuck they ask me, get up out of there. But I'm sitting here telling him I want to be a chef. But I
Mm,
didn't have that mentality yet. I didn't have that I gotta wake up every morning. I gotta study my notes. I gotta work on getting my food handler's license. I gotta work on my knife skills every day. I gotta practice my runs every day so I can fucking now I can chop cucumbers blindfolded. Like I have to do this every day so I get better. And I
right.
didn't have that mindset. I'm just like, all right, bro, you gave me a better opportunity. What do you want me to do? Suck your cock? Like I didn't have that. I didn't have that yet.
People,
Right? So
hold on, Jay. Um,
yeah,
as I was saying earlier in the show, Jay is not classically trained, and now he's
nah,
speaking to that because
yeah,
just being, you know, you hear somebody, oh, they're a chef, you just think it's cooking. No, there's so many other elements that go into it.
right,
Knife skills, being able to prep, all these little things. What the food line is cooking, like where you're at, what they cook
absolutely.
for every day. You have to know all these things, and you have to
Right.
become accustomed to them and know them like the back of your hand. So
Exactly.
now Jay is speaking to that portion of not being classically trained. And not only that, he's a young man. He's 18, 19 years old. You know,
Yeah.
he's like, what do you want to do? I'm going to come there and work. No, 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 no. Now
Yeah,
all the different attributes and characteristics of
right,
a chef are going to come out into the open for him. And
right.
he's going to
And
have
I'll
to,
speak to that because it was like when
yes,
I got
please.
to Sweet Chick, my first day, I was their prep cook, right? So I would be in the basement all day, just making sure that everything was ready for service.
Mm-hmm.
And I personally thought I was busting my ass. Like I thought, because I'm knocking out. So my thing was I would have to come in every day. I would have to process onions, carrots, celery. I would have to sit there and process basically means chop it all up, get it ready for the line, right? So I would have to sit there, chop 2 cases of that every day. This is an everyday thing. Then I have to sit there and chop 4 cases during the week and 8 cases during the weekend of chicken, because you know Sweet Chick is chicken and waffle. So I have to break down an entire chicken. Like each case had 12 chickens in it. There was 4 cases, so that's about what? That's 48 chickens, and you have to do that literally in an hour. Right now, if you don't know how to break down the chicken, yeah, good
Wow.
luck. Like, I know people
Yeah.
that can't break down one chicken in an hour, so I had to do all of this, and I had to be out the door. I would come in at 8 in the morning, and I had to be out the door by 5. Remember all this stuff that I have. And then on top of that, since I want to be a chef, like I told these guys, now I have to make sure all my shit is done and make sure I could be able to get on the line when service starts so I can help them out on the line and learn what I need to learn on the line, right? But again, I didn't have that mentality. I'm just thinking like, oh, I just got to come in and make sure the onions is cut. So I'm here taking shortcuts. I'm using the blender to chop up onions. I'm thinking I'm slick, right? The chef is noticing all these things, but he's not saying anything. Of course, he's not saying anything to me. It's not me that he's looking at. He's looking at Jonathan, right? This is your guy, right? So he would tell, and during service, I remember, again, like yesterday, he pulled out a whole chicken, added a brine, because what I would have to do was chop up the chicken and put it in the brine, make the brine, put it in the brine, right? So, and then they would have to take it out the brine into buckets, bring it up for service. So when service comes, they gotta bread it, they gotta pre-fry it, then it's ready for service. But what happened was, if it's not chopped right, how the fuck are you gonna serve a thigh and there's a half chicken? And they don't have the knives upstairs to sit there and break down the chicken, right? So the head chef, Randy, in front of everybody, he pulled me from downstairs. He was like, Jonathan, come with me. I was like, what's going on? He was like, don't worry about it, come with me. I walk upstairs in front of the entire line. I felt like this dude was Chef Gordon Ramsay. Like,
I was just gonna say that. This is your moment, kid.
Pulled the half a chicken out, threw it right on the line, right towards me, right damn it at me. Like the juices like dripped on me. And he was like, what the fuck is that, bro? Like literally, you sit here and tell us that you want to be a chef and you sit here pulling shit like that, and then he just ran down the receipt. You sitting here using the blender to chop fucking onions. You sitting here lollygagging on your phone all day. You spend 20 minutes in the bathroom taking 30-minute fucking bathroom breaks. Like, I don't know what you're doing, bro. You want to sit here and take 20 fucking smoke breaks? Are you sure you want to be a chef? Like, you sure you want to do this in front of everybody? And at this point, he's loud enough that the customers could hear, right? Wow. And I'm just sitting there with the dumb nigga face like, yeah, I want to do it. He's like, you have to show me that you want this, because you have a week to prove to me you want to be a chef. If not, you could get the fuck out. Just like that. Just like that.
How did that sit with you? Like in that.
And then he sent me home. He was like, you can go home now.
What?
And I swear to God, I told you my shift ended at 5. It was like probably like 12 in the afternoon, 1 o'clock. He was like, you can go home now.
Now, see, a young dude, an immature person, is going to hit the door. No, not only that, but they're going to hit the door going, well, fuck it. Fuck that dude. He talked to me like this, and now I'm getting out early. Fuck it. I'm going to go chill. Mm-hmm. How did you handle the situation?
Fuck, that shit challenged me. Because remember, he told me that I had a week to prove myself. And that was the week that I worked the hardest. Like, I literally got all my work done in like 4 hours flat. Like, I was chopping cases like a madman because I went home and I studied fucking YouTube videos. I basically trained myself, right? So I'm sitting there I bought a cheap chicken. I bought a couple of them, like 5 of them. And I sat there and watched YouTube videos, fastest way to cut a chicken, fastest way to dissect a chicken, seeing Gordon Ramsay's bullshit way of how he teaches guys to break down the chicken, which is so fucking dumb. Like, there's such an easier way. All up and coming chefs, please come to me if you need to break down the chicken. Don't watch that fucking video, right? So, and that week it was just like, all right, I took it as you challenging me,
right?
Like, you trying to play with me, like I can't do it, like, bro, you know what I've been through? Like, I'm gonna knock this shit out the park, and he seen it. Now, I'm not gonna sit here and say it was a training Rocky montage, and at the end of the week I was a ace boom chef. But at the end of that week, he seen the drive. Like, he was like, all right, this is what I want you to be from now on, right? This is the guy you need to be.
He told you that?
Yes, because he seen the drive. He sat there, he pulled me to the side, he smoked a cigarette with me. He was like, this is what you need to be. You understand where you work. You work at Sweet Chick. Do you know superstars walk through those doors? Do you know the opportunity that you have to work with the group of guys that you work with? Like, he sat there and he broke it all the way down to me. And that shit inspired me. And it was just like, all right, this is what I want. Because Randy allowed us to be us. Like, he didn't care that John wore his ankle. Like, he appreciated that. Because that's what Sweet Chick was. It was that culture. It was the hip hop style. It was socks all the way up. Like the team that we had, we literally made socks for our team because
Wow.
we all wore our socks, right? So it was just that was what inspired me. Sweet Chick molded me to want it, to chase the I can be who I can be, but now I want the skill to back it up.
I think that you guys, from the story that you're telling everybody, you guys had a serious camaraderie, right? It was almost like being on a football team or baseball team. You know, after a while, you develop camaraderie, and you guys are all not hating on each other, but rooting for each other, so you could all come together, right?
Absolutely.
So when the challenges are there or a problem comes about, nobody's pointing fingers. It's like, yo, let's fix this shit. Let's get it done,
Absolutely.
right?
Absolutely. That's kind of when you work, especially in kitchens. Like that's what I learned with being a chef, and that's also another thing that I love being a chef. I've met some of the dopest people in my life from being a chef. I met some of the most like artistic people that I've ever met. Like chefs really like. I hate when I walk into a restaurant. Like I worked at LOA, and it was called Live on Air, right? And there was a waitress there. She was an actress. Shout outs to her, Mia. She's doing big things right now.
All right.
And I walked in the door, and again, at that point, I was coming from Sweet Chick. I was coming from working in a couple of other spots, so I had confidence. I had skill. So she looked at me, and of course, like I don't dress like a chef. Like I'm not, right? So she's like, "Oh, you're a chef? Okay. What else?" I'm like, "What do you mean? What else? I'm a chef. Like, there needs to be more." She's like, "Oh, you're not like a dancer, like a." I'm like, "What do you mean? Like, a chef is just as much as an artist as a dancer, as much as an artist as a hip hop. Like, do you know what it takes to put a dish together, sis? Do you understand what it takes to do what I do? Like, you don't, right? Like, I just felt so disrespected by it, and it's just like, till this day, I get disrespected with people like, that's all you do? Yeah, I cook. Your girl don't even know how to cook. Like, calm down, bro. Like, do you know what I do? Like."
People, if you're just joining us, it's Mr. A. This is the set. I'm speaking to Mr. Chef Jay Martinez, and he is enlightening the audience to his struggle and his triumphs. And right now, what we're speaking on is his individuality and his love of being able to express himself through food. And I think everybody would be able to connect on that level, because they say when you cook with love, that's when you make the best food. So I think in order for you to be a chef, you have to love what you do. And it definitely comes across when Jay is telling his story. So you move from Sweet Chick, you go to another spot. Right?
Yeah, after Sweet Chick, I got into a deep issue. So basically, let me finish that Sweet Chick. So John ended up getting promoted to sous chef. So basically how it works in the kitchen, if anybody doesn't know, is basically like executive chef, head chef, sous chef, head line cook, you got your line cooks. That's basically how a basic line works. Of course, you have all your saute and chef de partie and all these other technical bullshit terms, but that's basically how it works, right? So John had got moved up. John, he stopped coming through, and he really like let the power go to his head. Like he was one of those guys who wanted power, like, and he let it go to his head. And at the time, I was in a bit of a situation where, again, I told you earlier, I thought I was expecting a baby. Unfortunately, the mother of my child lived in Florida at the time. So what I wanted to do was I wanted to fly out to Florida, see the birth of my child, hopefully stay out there for a little bit, bring them back, get back to work.
Right.
He basically gave me an ultimatum. He was like, listen, you can go to Florida, but you have to understand that you're still proving yourself. If you leave, now I need a prep cook. What am I supposed to do? So you can go to Florida, you could go enjoy the birth of your kid, all that stuff. But I can't promise you that you're going to have a job coming back.
Wait, so this is the guy from Pratt?
Yeah.
That brought you in?
Yeah. Yeah.
That must have been tough.
oh, that hurt me to the core. Like I was like, bro, you serious? Like, cause at the time, cause after that week, that the week of proving myself, it was like months of me just breaking my back, just busting my ass.
Right.
Like I didn't know how. I was working 6 days a week, and then the seventh day I would come in for like a half a day.
Mm-hmm.
I was killing myself for that place. Like, cause I loved being there. I loved learning. Like I lived for it, right?
Right. Right.
So I loved being there, but it was like, bro, I also want to see the birth of my first child. Like, this is a son. Like, this is
Yeah.
not you telling me I can't see this. Like, so I went home and I dealt with the ultimatum. It was like, do I go to Florida? Do I say fuck it, or do I stay? And do I fucking again hold out? Do I keep going? Do I keep striving?
What did you do?
And I chose to stay because it was like.
Wow. Wow.
It was like I had a conversation with my baby mother at the time, and it was really just again a fight with me. It was
Right.
like because she was telling me, she was like, "Listen, this is a career for you. Like this is a dope opportunity.
Right.
Stay there. As soon as I can fly out, I'll fly out to you, and we'll be a family." But it
Right.
was me. It was like, bro, like this is my son that's coming to the world, or so
Right.
I thought, right? So I'm just
Okay.
like, I can't miss this shit.
Right.
But I I was like, listen, if she thinks that I should stay, then I can't fight it. She's telling me to stay. She's like, listen, even if you do, cause she basically forced me. She was like, even if you do come, I don't know where you gonna come to. So it's just like, all right, whatever.
Wow.
I'm gonna stay.
Okay. So now Jonathan moves into this spot and he's basically squeezing you because he's feeling himself. Let's just put it that way.
Yeah.
Let's fast forward a little bit.
Okay.
At what point do you venture out into your own and garner a higher position in the kitchen? And how does that position come to pass for you? How does that opportunity come across your table?
Hold on, let me just fix myself.
Do your thing.
But,
There you go.
so that basically came, I want to say after Sweet Chick.
Okay.
Um, I worked in a couple of different spots. I worked in a small cafe where I worked by myself, so I had to hone my craft. Um, I I worked in just a different places. I worked at a Michelin star gastro pub called Bricolage. I worked in a lot of different places where I just had to hone my skill, right? Because
Right.
there was nobody holding my hand anymore. Like I didn't have my best friend. Like I didn't, you know what I mean? So
He was out of the
And
nest.
then, yeah, and then I got a call from Joe Barber. He ran LOA at the time,
Okay.
and he was like, "Yo, you worked at Sweet Chick?" Like he was just astonished that I worked at Sweet Chick because he understood what was going on with Sweet Chick. Because when I left, the tides were turning; they were getting a deal with Nas.
Okay.
We were the team that basically got them that deal because we made Sweet Chick so dope.
Right.
So he was like, "Yo, like." How much did you really put in that Sweet Chick? I was like, yo, bro, I was the life and soul of Sweet Chick, right? So I was the prep guy, I was the line guy, I was the porter. Like I gave my life. He was like, yo, you want to come work for me? I'm like, fuck yeah, I want to come work for you, right? So I get there, and there was a dude there who was basically me at the walk station, right?
Okay.
He was this flashy kid. Again, funny enough, his name was Jonathan, right? So he was this flashy kid, but he didn't really have skill like that, right?
Okay.
And
Now
I
you
would just
now
watch
you
him.
judging dudes, Jay? What's up with that?
I had the skill too. I had
Uh,
the skill to do it. I'm like, bro, like because
you're
even
doing it
to this day,
wrong.
like if you hold, if you're chopping something and I see that like you're holding your hands like this and your knife is just like inching towards your fingertip, I cringe. So it was
Oh,
like he would do things like that, and it's like, bro, can I teach you how to? Because one thing, like I'll judge you silently. Like, but I'll never be like, oh, this nigga don't got it. Like, I'm not fake or cool. I
right.
keep it to myself, right?
Right.
So I'm just like, all right, bro, can I teach you a better way of doing things? But he's just like, nah, I'm good, bro. Like he just,
Blew you
you know what I
off.
mean? Yeah, he was just telling me to fuck off. And then that's when I'm just like, motherfucker, do you know? like, like, so he got tired of working at LOA
Okay.
because they didn't want to give him the head chef status because they seen that he didn't really have skill. He just had flash.
Right.
And LOA was a spot where it was the first of its kind where they had cameras in the kitchen and they would play the live feed of the kitchen right in the restaurant. So you could see everything that the chef is doing. You could see everything. Like he could
Everything. Yeah.
talk to you, all that. And it was an open kitchen. So on top of that, you could literally look inside the kitchen.
Wow.
So you really needed to have skill and flash because that's what people wanted to see. That's what got people like locked in the kitchen.
Mm-hmm.
So he got tired of working there. Um, he basically got tired of working there, and he was just like, you know what, bro, you can have it. But I'm just like, bro, I don't want it. I just wanted to help you. Like I didn't want to take any. I don't take anything that's not there for the taking. Like
Right.
I'm not gonna take. If your position is solidified, I'm not coming for it. Now, if your position is on the line,
That's different.
hey, brother, that's a fight. You got to prove that you're great every day, my boy. Like you only as great as your last performance. You
Yes,
know what I
sir.
mean? So it's like if your spot is there for the taking, hey, boy, I'm coming for it. But it wasn't like his spot was there. He just figured that that's what I was there for. So he left, and they was like, listen, we don't really have another guy. Like, how about you build your team, you get your guys, and you just be the star. You have the flash because they seen I was flamboyant. I was always wearing my hat, have my socks. Like I think there's a viral picture of a moment at LOA where I'm just looking at. I'll send you the picture or whatever.
All right.
But and he was just like, bro, do you want to take over? Like, and I'm just like, yeah. But again, I met another one of my mentors, Caleb. He was he stood in the back and just watched me and helped me get better. He learned he basically gave me the technical side. All right, this is why your oven is not working. This is why your stove is not working. Like there's more things to that you have to learn than just the food. You got to
And
understand the sewage system. Why you need a gap between your sink and your sewage line. Like you need to know all these things, and you need to know not only your food, not only your menu, but the restaurant, like the back of your hand. So he taught me that, and one thing about Jonathan that wasn't with Caleb, it was like he was very humble. Like he just wanted to teach me,
no
right?
power
So
trip.
he taught me everything. He taught me how to do inventory. He taught me food costs. He taught me everything. He basically gave me the skill to round me out, to basically finish my degree from the Culinary Institute, right? He basically gave me that, right? Jonathan gave me, my brother gave me the drive. Jonathan gave me the skill, and Caleb gave me the technical, the tech, right? So after that, Caleb would tell me like, listen, like these motherfuckers are not gonna be calling restaurants and asking if you worked there or what you did, right? A lot of these people don't. They're just gonna go by if your resume is dope, right?
Yeah.
So one thing about me was I never finished school. So he was like, listen, you gotta finish school. But I put that in the back burner. I just wanted to be a chef.
Right.
Um, so after LOA had shut down, um, I was actually lost, like for a time. Like it was because I held that on my back. So the problem with LOA was it was the first of its kind, right? And the problem with Joe, the owner, was he didn't put enough love into the kitchen as he put into the live aspect of the restaurant, right? So he would put all his production and money into bringing in on these podcasts and making sure all that is great. And then the kitchen, we would have to work with scraps, and it was
Wow.
just like we can't do that. So we shut down, and that hurt my pride because when I became head chef there, it was like I put everything in it. Like I basically lived in it. Like I wanted that place to succeed because I knew like I was getting hot in Brooklyn. I was right by the Barclays Center. I was getting hot because all the live shows that they did, I would always be in the kitchen having my little comments. Like I was getting famous, like just being in the kitchen. I was the fly chef that would come step out everybody be like, "Ooh, he looking nice. He got his little chef coat on. Like his shit said his name on it. Like he got his socks stand up. His fucking hat is his hair is curly. Like who is this fucking chef? Like so I was slowly picking up. So when I lost that spot, it kind of took me for a tumble because it was
Right.
like pride was hurt, right? So it's like now what do I do? You know, do I give up or do I keep going?
Yeah. Reassess, reevaluate, reposition yourself.
Absolutely. Yeah.
People, if you're just joining us, I'm your host, Mr. A. This is The Set. Tonight we're talking to Mr. Jay Martinez, the chef with the flyest socks. He's been telling
And the
us his
fly
story.
hat.
And the flyest hats.
Rest in
he's,
peace, Nipsey.
he's been telling us his story from the beginning up until now. All the obstacles he's endured, all the personal obstacles he endured as well. And now he's reached a point where he has to decide what he wants to do. So you're in this position where the restaurant closes down.
Mm-hmm.
You're well-rounded now because you have all aspects of what it takes to be a chef.
Yeah.
What is the next moment? Like, what's the next thing that happens for you out of that turmoil?
Well, after that, it was just like, all right, what do I do now, right? So I put out my resume. My resume wasn't good enough to get anything, right? Because I had the skills. The skills were there, but not all of them were sharp, right?
Right.
So I didn't have years experience in. And honestly, cooking was the only thing besides my one job that I had at the JCC. Cooking was the only other thing that I really had.
Wow.
So I have my spot in Brooklyn, but I don't have a job, so I can't pay rent. I end up, funny enough, getting a job at a small little cafe in Bed-Stuy.
Okay.
And again, it was just me there. So I was their only chef, right? So it was just like, again, I had to prove myself, but I didn't have the confidence because my confidence was stricken from LOA, right? So it's like I didn't have the motivation to put all that energy back in to just fail again. And this is a cafe. I'm used to working at bars. Like I'm not really understanding like cafe food because they're like, oh, we want small dainty things, but it's not fancy. Like it's like, half sandwiches, things like that. And I didn't really know that at the time. I worked at Sweet Chick. I worked at a Brick-a-Lot. I worked at bars. I know comfort food. Like I know mac and cheese. I know shit that's gonna fill your stomach. Ribs, steaks. That's what I know.
Right.
So I'm still like, yo, I don't even know why I have this position. Like I don't want to be a cafe chef. Like that shit was dainty to me. Like he made me not wear my socks anymore. I couldn't wear my socks. Like I had to wear their hat. Like it was a corny hat. And I slowly started to lose passion. Like it was just like, I don't want this. Like this is literally not what I wanted to do. Right. But I can't get anything else because it's like my resume is not good enough. Right. So I'm like, what do I do? I was making decent money at the cafe so I could pay my rent and I was still living decently because I'm doing young nigga shit that any young kid should not be doing. So I'm making enough money and I have a baby. So this is at the time where I have my child, right?
Right.
And I'm working at it with my baby mother. So I'm just going through it. I'm trying to make enough. I'm doing what I have to do, like during the night. Like I'm doing it, and come to find out, to make a long story less long, the kid wasn't mine, and I'm going through it at the cafe. I'm going through it at my other side hustle, and now I'm finding out that my child is not mine. Right? That I just spent 8 months literally giving my life to. Right? Because I wasn't one of these hanky-dory, come visit your child on the weekend pops out here. Like I was a real dad. Like I put my son to sleep every night. Made sure I changed his pamper every morning. When he woke up in the middle of the night crying for a bottle, I was the dude that literally was right there with the bottle. Right? I was what I wanted to be in a dad. Right?
Right.
So I find out that he's not mine. I'm going at it in a cafe. But I'm still making money And then my baby mother cheated on me because when I found out that he wasn't mine, it was like I still want to be a dad. Like I still wanted that aspect of being a father, right? So
You was willing to set that aside and try to work things out.
absolutely, right?
Wow.
Like I'm like,
Wow.
you're not gonna. I don't want to make an embarrassment out of you. Like
Right.
you go out there and be like, oh, he's not the father. Let's just keep it on the low. You ain't got to tell nobody.
Right.
But after she found out that I wasn't the dad, it was like she didn't want to be with me. So it was just like, all right, listen. I found out that she cheated on me, and I was just like, listen, honestly, my son could stay here as long as he needed. He could stay here till he's 18. But your ass gotta go tonight. Like you gotta get that. Like I don't play that game. Like I'm the sweetest dude until you cross me. Like I am not that one to play with. Like I will turn cold hearted in a minute, right? Because again, I don't have tolerance for the bullshit. I'm sitting here not only taking care of you because you ain't working, you ain't got no job. I'm taking care of your child. Your child, because this ain't even my kid, right? And I'm doing it's not like we were living just making a paycheck to paycheck. We were living a good life. You had everything you ever wanted, everything you ever needed,
Mm.
right? So it was like, why would you play yourself like that? Now you could go. Like,
Right.
so it became a battle. It just became like, you know what, you want to take your kid, get up out of here, do your thing. And after that, I went into a deep, deep depression, right?
Mm.
Um, and I'm still doing what I have to do, making money, right? And I get a call from my mother,
Wow.
and she's basically telling me like we had the kumbaya, we had like I still didn't really forgive her all the way, but I understood where I was at and where I needed to be. I needed to be around people who genuinely or what I thought genuinely loved me, right?
Right.
Because I was
Right.
in a deep, deep depression. Like it was throwing back to those days as a child. It was that deep depression.
Right.
So my mom called me and she's like, "Listen, I'm having a hard time making ends meet over here. Um, if you can come over here, you know, help me out. You don't really have to do much, but if you could just help us make ends meet, we're here for you, right?" So
Mm.
I went back and I pretty much helped him out. I lived there for a minute, and then I lost my job. Stopped hustling because it was like I don't want to deal with this anymore. I'm in a depression. Like I can't focus.
Right.
I can't be on a level of focus that it takes to do shit like that.
For
So
sure.
it was just like I can't do this. So I went back. I lost my job, and it was just like, look, my mom was just like, listen, you got to figure it out, right? And then I'm like, you know what? There's a big ass hole in my resume, and it's the education hole, right? Because I dropped out of high school because I went
Your
homeless. I
situation.
had to
Yeah.
work or go to school. I
Right.
gotta work, right? So it was like I'm gonna go back and get my GED. At the time, my mother was doing her thing.
Okay.
I'm not gonna get into that.
Right.
Um, and she would leave me with my stepfather and my little brother in the crib. Now, again, remember the past that me and my stepfather had.
That's coming back
So
around.
everything is cool because I would get a stipend from my GED program. While I was getting my GED, I would get a stipend. As long as I went every single day, I got $500 at the end of the month
Okay.
until I got my GED. Now, this was a 12-month program. They
Wow.
literally sat there and told me, they was like, listen, minimum, you're going to be here at least 10 months, right? I finished that motherfucker in 4 months, right?
Wow.
So everything was cool. Now, after I finished getting my GED, after I take the test, it was the day after my birthday. I just found out that I fucking passed my GED, all courses, passed it with flying colors. Day after my birthday, my stepfather comes to me. Now I'm not getting my stipend anymore because I'm not in the program anymore.
Right.
So he comes to me. He's like, "Yo, you know what? Mind you, I had got him a job at one of the spots that I knew was hiring. He didn't have an ID. I paid to get his ID, and I got him the job. He started paying what I couldn't pay anymore because it's like I'm not working. I'm getting my GD, right? So He's like, you know what, bro? I don't think it's fair that I have to sit here and pay rent while your mother is out doing what she's doing, whatever the fuck she's doing. You're sitting here just laying up in the house, and I gotta feed me, you, and your little brother. And then I gotta make sure everything's paid when your mom comes back. So you gotta find a place to go immediately. That's what he told me. Mind you, I already had lost my place in Brooklyn because I've been here for so long already.
Yeah.
So my mom was coming back the next day. So I'm like, bro, you know what? I'm not even gonna punch you in the face right now. I'm gonna let my mom come back.
I'm gonna wait.
We're gonna figure it out. So my mom comes back, and of course they talking. Like I'm y'all parents. Of course y'all fucking talking. So I already knew my mom knew what's up. So as soon as she walked through the door, I let her settle in. I let her do what she had to do, and I stepped to her. I'm like, listen, mom, this is what's going on. Told her everything that was going on. Told her everything I've been up to. She even congratulated me for getting my GD. Bada bing, bada boom. I tell her, and my girlfriend at the time was sitting, or she's still my girlfriend to this day, but at the time she's sitting right there with me. And I'm telling my mom, like, look, this dude is telling me that I have to find a place to go. Mom, I don't have a place to go. Like, where am I going to go, bro?
Right.
Like, what do I do? I don't have a job. At least let me get on my feet and then let me do my thing. I have no problem leaving. All you got to do is tell me for once.
Right.
So she's like, I don't know what to tell you. Even my girlfriend was like, bitch, are you retarded? Like, what do you mean? I don't know. This is your son telling you that a nigga that you don't, that's not even his father, is telling him that he has to leave your house, sis. Like, what are you talking about?
Didn't I come back here to help you on the fly?
I don't, ladies, what would you do if a man were to tell you that one of your kids have to leave the next day? Your kid has no job. Now, I'm not saying he's a kid, he's a grown-ass man. But at the time, like, what would you do? Because I could never. I couldn't. That very moment, I lost all respect for my mother. I was like, you know what, bitch? You could go to hell. And the very next day, I was out that house, home.
So you was back at it.
Mm-hmm.
Man, I'm on a roller coaster with you right now, brother.
Oh, listen, I told you it was a roller coaster ride.
For real.
I hope everybody's enjoying it.
No, I think everybody is definitely in tune with what's going on here. So, all right, let's try to get to a little happiness.
Absolutely.
When does your first offer to be a chef come to the table? And I want to know what your mindset was, what your state of mind was, and how you felt when you got that either in-person offer or on the phone offer. Like, what were you like? What was in your spirit? What was your energy like? How did you feel at that moment? And where did it come from?
So I never got, hey, do you want to come and be my head chef? Like, I never got that offer.
Okay.
Every offer I ever got was, hey, do you work at Sweet Chick? Oh, yeah, you work here, you work there. Can you come work for me? Like, can you come be the line cook? And then I would just give it my all, and I would work my way up. Like, It's been like that my entire journey. Like, that's just my cycle.
Okay.
But when I first got offered, it was actually not. I'm not gonna say I've been a head chef for 2 years, right?
Right.
So I was working at Tilt's right here in Brooklyn.
Okay.
And it was during the Corona times. It was about earlier this year. It was during Corona time, and everybody was just dropping like flies, especially the chefs.
For real.
Everybody started dropping, and they would ask me. Literally, it started like, "Hey, do you want to come be my part-time chef for Saturday and Sunday?" And I was like, "Yeah, like it's Corona. I need the money."
For real.
And then everybody started dropping like flies, and I would just constantly still put in the work. No team. There were days where I was the dishwasher, the prep cook, the line cook, the porter. I was literally everything, right? In the kitchen, because even my executive was not there. So the GM stepped to me. He was like, yo, after 2 weeks, he was like, look, listen, I really like the way you work. I see the way things are going in here. I think I want to make you my sous chef.
Wow.
Behind the executive chef's back.
Right.
Like,
Right.
so he's like, listen, tomorrow you come in like this is your kitchen. You come in knowing, doing what you know how to do.
Right.
Take it like this is yours. You build the culture. You build everything.
Full flex.
Because literally, it was a barren kitchen, Mr. A. Like, I didn't have a dishwasher. It was literally just me, right?
Wow.
He was like, listen, this is your kitchen. I fired the old prep guy. He was a disgusting old man. I hated him. I'm sorry. I didn't hate. I hated the way he worked.
His work wasn't up to par.
His work ethic was not up to par, and he thought he knew everything. I did not like that.
That's
He thought
respectable.
because he was one thing I do not like. Just because you're older does not mean you can't learn from the people, right? Like, yeah, all younger people should learn from the older people, but the older people can also learn from you. You can take lessons, right? You can take lessons from everything, even the young people.
That's right.
He didn't want to understand that. And I'm just like, listen, bro, this is not your kitchen anymore. Like, I know before I got here, you went around and did whatever you want to do. This is my shit now. So you can either take it or you can get the fuck out. He chose the latter. He chose to leave. So after that, I was like, listen, put me on salary. I basically stepped to them. I was like, listen, put me on salary and I'm building a team. So I built a team. I built my kitchen squad. I literally surrounded it with people that I trusted. I trusted Matthew, so I brought him on.
Okay.
I trusted Desiree, which is my sister that I grew up with, who at my darkest point, she was also there for me. So I brought her in. And I also knew that I needed, because I'm still not a perfect chef, right? So I needed somebody older that can guide all of us, right? Because I don't know how to run an entire kitchen, right? So I brought in an older dude whose name is Sweat, Sweat. Really dope chef. And that was it. And that was my team. And we literally built the culture and we changed everything in it, right? So the culture was ours. The kitchen standards were mine, ours. Like, I made sure everything was up to par. And we turned the entire kitchen around.
Nice.
And that's what built my confidence back. Now, due to Corona and bad management, but I'm not going to call anybody out on that. Tills had to shut down.
Right.
But before they shut down, I was their executive chef because the executive chef didn't want any parts of it. So I basically ran the entire show with my team.
Right.
And then after that, Josue went on and got the position at Jungle Bird.
Okay.
But Josue is very much a guy who understands that the kitchen world is evolving to the youth. Even that's evolving. Like, each chef that comes out is more swaggy and more like, is youthful now. You know what I mean?
Right.
So he knows with Corona, that's kind of what you got to push to the forefront. And he's an older guy. He don't want to deal with people. Like, he's a cranky old dude. Like, he doesn't like dealing with people. He just wants to pass on the knowledge. Right. So he basically was like, listen, I'll be your sous chef, but you got to come on to Jungle Bird and be the head chef there. And it's a Thai restaurant. I'm like, Sway, I don't fucking know nothing about Thai food, bro. He's like, listen, I have a little background in it, and you have to go back to your days of sweet chick. You have to study this shit like it's the back of your hand. And it just lit the fire under my ass again. And then I had my interview at Jungle Bird. The owner loved me. And ever since then, I've been putting out dope food at Jungle Bird.
Time out. So I'm going to hit the pause button because I want to give a shout out to my wife who's probably watching right now.
Oh, absolutely.
Jay Martinez just said that he does Thai food. And that's one of my wife's favorite cuisines that she put me on to. Okay. The first place we went to was called C in Williamsburg.
Okay.
And I was like, Thai food? Oh, eating crocodile dick and alligator balls? Like, I'm not here to eat. You know what I mean? But I went, and first of all, it's in Williamsburg. This spot stays packed. Well, it stayed packed back then. But honey, I hope you, if you're watching, now we got to go check out Jay's food because Thai food,
Please do.
yeah, you already know, like it's
Of
gonna be
course, I'm Spanish, so don't hold me to the Thai standard.
Listen, if you know how
Yeah.
to throw the oyster sauce and everything in the right places,
Oh
listen.
yeah, yeah. I get busy. Don't let me. You know what I
Exactly,
mean? Our
exactly.
menu is a little bit broken down now, and a little
Okay,
bit due to Corona, we can't go the way full blast the way we want to.
right, right, right.
But slowly, I'm bringing more dishes in, working with Sway, him teaching me the ropes in Thai food, me
Mm,
learning every day. I'm slowly learning, and we're putting out dope dishes. Dope
that's
dishes.
what's up. Let me ask you a question. So the other day you posted a little video. You were making a shrimp dish. What was
Uh,
that?
So that was my spicy shrimp curry. So that
Oh,
is basically sauteed vegetables and house-made green curry sauce,
green.
topped with sauteed shrimp. Yeah, that's actually one of my favorite dishes coming out right now. I'm trying to make it a vegan dish
Mm-hmm.
because I've been getting a lot of complaints that I only feed the carnivores. Um, so I'm working. I'm in the lab every day. I'm always studying. And I got something working for my vegetarians, my vegans,
All right,
my gluten-free people. I got y'all. Don't worry about it. It's coming.
people. If you're just joining the show, as always, your host, Mr. A. This is the set tonight with Jay Martinez of Jungle Bird. This story is amazing. I think Mr. Martinez's energy matches his trials and tribulations, but as you can see, has made him into a solid individual. I have to applaud that, and these are the kind of people that we definitely want to be bringing to the show. And I hope everybody's in some way, shape, or form uh, appreciating his honesty and what he's bringing to the table because this is what it's all about. So now at Jaybird, it sounds like you're cultivating, growing, learning, and doing all these things.
Absolutely.
What is your position now? How is it evolving more? Are you in a good place mentally inside of Jungle Bird? And what are your hopes for the future?
So I'm in a great place. I go to work every day loving what I do. The fire is absolutely back. Um, I'm not gonna say I never want to quit because there's times every single day where I want to fucking quit. I get aggravated every day, like,
Mm,
but I don't want to give up my passion. Like cooking is literally what I've been doing. I don't know how to do anything else. Like I can't deal with people. I'm not gonna magically turn into a rapper. Um,
please
I know
don't.
how to cook. Yeah, no. It's not. I don't even know how to rhyme. Like I'm not that guy.
Okay.
Uh, A&R maybe. I love listening to music, but
Okay.
I can't do the rapping thing. But mentally, I'm working on myself every day. It's not. It's not. I'm at a great place, but I'm working on myself every day. I still, again, deal with a lot of pain, a lot of resentment. I don't let a lot of people close. I'm trying to work on that. And I'm trying to build. I'm trying to build the future. I'm trying to build the change that I want to see. And it doesn't stop with just cooking. It's about again making sure the door stays open for everybody who follows in my footsteps that walks right behind me. And I think that's my biggest thing. I want to die knowing that I created some type of change in some person,
Right.
right? I think that's what being great is about, right? It's about inspiring at least change in one person that inspires change in the next person. You
That's
know what I
right.
mean? And if I could just do that, um, I think that's where I want to be in life. That's the future. And no matter what I'm doing, if it's inspiring people with my story, if it's inspiring people with my cooking, if it's inspiring people with my work ethic, um, I just want to inspire the next generation because I see where we're going and I'm not really too happy with it.
Mm-hmm.
I see what the people my age do and I'm not really too happy with it. So I'm trying to live every day being the brutally honest, brutally flagrant, um, just giving it up the way we need to. Um, I feel like to be great, we need to lose the I gotta be humble. You know what I mean? We're kings and queens. We wake up every day. I wake up every day like everybody else lost, right? There's
Yeah.
no chef better than me. I don't care if you're Gordon Ramsay, right? And I feel like that's because you got to prove that you're great every single moment of every single day.
For
And
real.
that 1 second where Gordon Ramsay loses his edge, I'm coming in and I'm grabbing it, right? And
Gordon's
I think
coming
that's what it's about,
for real. Gordon Ramsay, look out. My man Jay's coming for your
bro.
head.
Bro, I think I'm better than Gordon Ramsay right now, honestly.
You're
I'm just
supposed to.
saying.
Yeah.
I'm just
Yeah.
saying.
You're
Anybody
supposed
could
to.
come put me to the test. Come check me, Gordon Ramsay, please.
You heard it first here at the set. So listen, I just want to say thank you for coming on the show. I appreciate you reaching out. I really enjoyed the conversation we had for the brief time that we did have it. I think that I connected with you through your story and the things that you shared with me. But most of all, I want to appreciate you for being so honest and speaking so candidly about your come up and what you've done with your life. And I think that everybody on here, old and young, tonight made a connection in some way, shape, or form with the things that you laid out on the table. I also, as I tell all my guests, because all my guests just happen to be great. They tell great stories. They bring their true and uncut selves to the platform. In the future, the platform is yours. And anytime you care to update, tell me something good, whatever it may be, hit me up. Yo, hey, I want to come to the set. I got something to share with the people. And it's the platform is yours. So
Oh yeah. Oh yeah.
go ahead.
Oh yeah. I want to actually thank you, Mr. A, for lending me your platform. I want to thank the people for taking the time out and listening. I know it's a long story. But there's greatness in all of us, right? And the greatness is in telling people our side of the story. Um, Everybody has greatness in them, and it's just putting the work ethic behind it, right? A lot of us lose because we don't have that work ethic. The set wouldn't be where it's at today if Mr. A ain't have that work ethic. I wouldn't be where I'm at today if it wouldn't be for that work ethic. And everything that you do should be towards making yourself better or honing your skills to be better. Um, I want everybody. There's a reason I have Mr. Mike on as my name also this entire time. That is my Instagram platform. I do host a show called "Is This Mike On?" where I give it to you brutally, honestly. I don't tell you what you want to hear. I told you what you need to hear,
That's
and
right.
I am bringing it back. A lot of people have been asking me about it because I have been on a hiatus. But I am bringing it back, and I wanted to announce it here on Mr. A's platform. My first episode will be dropping in 2 weeks. I don't have my calendar in front of me, but I think what's that? Anyway,
So
I'm
we're
gonna
the
try to
11th
drop
right
it
now.
around Thanksgiving. So you could be around your family. A new episode of Is This Mike On drops. Everybody who shares this interview, they will be entered in for a giveaway. I am giving away a watch. Um,
Oh shit.
among other things. I do give away lots of things. I gave away $100 one time. Like I like passing it on, right?
I,
So I will be giving away a watch on my first episode. So tune in, stick around for that, follow me, and you know, keep up with me. I'm making big moves out.
listen, let me know when you're giving away that dinner. That's what I want to know about.
Yeah. We're giving away a dinner. That's actually a really dope idea.
Hey, listen. You know what I mean? You a chef, bro. Fuck a watch. I
Yeah.
want some food.
Yeah. I might do that too. That's actually a really dope idea. I might give away a watch for the guys, dinner for the ladies. Bring your dude through. We'll do something special. I'll work it out. We'll figure it out.
Yes, we will. So, as my
Absolutely.
man said, Mr. Jay Martinez, check out his show, Mr. Mike on IG. Make sure
Yes.
you check him out in 2
IG.
weeks.
So, hashtag is this mic on YouTube. I have a couple old episodes on there, but I will be bringing it back for people.
Wonderful. People, Tonight we give it up and we salute Mr. J, Mr. Mike on Martinez, and Chef at Jungle Bird in NYC. If you guys are looking for a spot to, check out that you haven't checked out before, go check out my man Jay Martinez and let me know if you go. Let me know, because I ain't gonna go over there if it's janky. But I'm gonna trust my man. I'm gonna trust my man and his word, because the way he came across tonight, I feel like we go through. There's gonna be some good grub. So
absolutely.
Jay,
good cocktails, good grub.
Oh, man, you hear this dude?
Hey, come on, Mr. A, we got you, man. We got you. We grown and sexy over here. We don't do the play stuff, man.
I'm coming to see you, brother.
Come through.
All right, Mr. Martinez, I appreciate you for coming on the show. We'll be in touch if anything, all right?
Yes, sir. Thank you, Mr. A.
Anytime, brother. People, if you missed this show, I would implore you to go back and watch the rerun on the live on Facebook or on YouTube. You can find us on YouTube, The Set 6145. We broadcast simultaneously on Facebook Live and on YouTube Live. And watch this show, because Mr. Martinez, wow, an inspiring story, a story of triumph and overcoming some severe obstacles. But I respect the man's honesty and his drive and his unwillingness to give up in the face of obstacles. So salute to Mr. Martinez and everybody that watched the show, and especially Mrs. A, because without Mrs. A, this show won't be possible. But just remember, before we go, Sunday, November 15th, 7:30 p.m., let's talk about cannabis with Chef Swan and Mark Alfinez. And Sunday, November 22nd, very special show, 7:30 p.m., Couples, do you have what it takes to make it? I would implore everybody to tune in for that one, because it is going to be super interesting and very informative. So, as always love to say, live the life you love the life you live. I'm Mr. A. This is The Set, and I wish everybody a good night.